So first, as a company, when you want to get into the ERP implementation, then you will have to decide what kind of a product you are going to be there. Like we were discussing, if you are going to have a bigger companies, bigger corporates, MNCs and all, if they are able to afford, then they may go for SAP. Or if it is a basically a corporate dealing with very of the financial functions, they may go for Oracle or whatever is the software. And since this product cannot be implemented, since we, the company, will not have the inside expertise, so we will have to have an implementation partner selection. So the implementation partner gets selected and the product is bought and the implementation starts. This is how the implementation does. Now, what are all the project phases? Let us have a look at it. If you really, project phases are really project phases are, we have startup and planning. I'll come to that 1 second. Project phases will be, one is the planning, what we saw. Okay, we will come to that. Then we have a as-is study. As-is study means what is available presently, how it is being done, what are all the inputs that it is being taken, what are all the outputs that we should do, then how we will have to do the job. This is my blueprint for my new system, like what we prepare in the house. Then I've got a realization where I really do the job. Then I have a final preparation and training. Then I have got go live and support. This is how, if you really look at it, this is how there are the major 6 portions what we were discussing on this. Now we will go one by one and then we will have a discussion. So when you have a project phase, once when we are given the bought the project and given for this one, so we will have to go for 3 things initially. If you really go for that, 1 second. Startup and planning. So we have got a team size and members. We will have to decide project planning. We should have a kickoff meeting. And when we have a team size, we should select from members from various functions, members from IT, cross-functional members needed in a team. So when somebody was asking, when you are part of the ERP implementation in any company, then you may have to tell your management these are all should be the requirements. And if you are going to be an auditor or as an person who is going to be a consultant, and at that time the ERP is going, then also you may impress the management that there should be a proper team size and the members are from each function. There should be members from various functions to form in a particular thing. And once when it is done, then we have got a project planning. So we have got a discussion, and during the discussions, the consultants and the implementation partner and the complete all the department people and the delegation of powers, everything should be available in these initial discussion. And we will have the kickoff meeting where the introduction of the team members, project timelines, document study, plan about project, all these things will have to be done. And then you will have to collect and understand. That is mainly because of the as-is study. We will have to have presently what are all the document, procedure, rules and regulation, DOP, manuals like accounts, personal, material, project, cost, internal audit, all output formats. See, when we really go for audit, since it can be a financial audit or a cost audit, we will have to find out whether we have got manuals, whether accounts manual is there or even for cost manual is there or internal audit manual is there. And there is one great opportunity as consultants or people who can help the organization. If the organizations do not have these kind of manuals, we being the professionals, we may be able to help them in developing these manuals. This is also one of the areas which is very wide open for people like us. In fact, I have I had been offered many times for manuals preparation and all, which I am not accepted for various reasons. But as a professional, we have this particular area, especially at least the accounts manual and the materials manual, project manual, cost manual, internal audit manual, and all. We are capable of preparing these kind of manuals with our own expertise, working in many places, and then doing an audit in many other places. We should be able to do. And please understand, when we are going to go for an ERP audit also, or an organization where ERP is implemented, we will have to look at definitely the manuals and whether the system is following the manuals. This is a very, very important thing. When we go for an audit under an ERP environment, if a company has got an ERP implemented, let it be any product, the company should have a manual, and the ERP system should follow the manual. And the ASIS study does with all these things, visits to various units, shop floors, offices, warehouse, and prepare an exhaustive ASIS document of the present day affairs. But the most important document, which is going to be permanent in the ERP setup, is your blueprint document. This is what, as an auditor, as a professional who is going to be in the ERP environment, you will have to look at the to be document to understand what the system was supposed to do, and you can audit whether the system is actually doing it. Because this is the blueprint is nothing but like what you do in a house. The house, how it should be there, what should be the measurements, where things should be there. That is a blueprint. But once the house is built, we in our own house we check up everything. Whereas in an ERP environment, as a professional, it is our job to find out what was the blueprint and whether blueprints have been adhered to when the system is finally implemented and made active and is working. So blueprint is a document where the people from the organization sign with the implementation partner, and accordingly it has to be done. And whenever there are gaps, whether the gaps have been plugged by the standards or by configurations or by development. You please remember we were discussing about developments in the technical side. Standards, there is no issue if it is addressed. Configuration also no issue, because when the software gets updated, upgraded, there will be no issue. But in case if it is to be development, then we should caution the management that so much of development is going to create problem for them at a later date. So they will have to adopt the best practices in the industry and then do the job. And realization phase is nothing but, we forgot one thing. um, what are all the MIS and output formats are also will be there in the blueprint, that we will have to have a look at it to find out. We were talking of MIS, we were talking of decision making and all, whether everything will be there available, we will have to look at it. Then comes realization. We have got a configuration and unit testing, and later on configuration is nothing but, if you really look at it, the process of tailoring SAP software by selecting a specific functionality, because there will be a lot of functionalities, but we will have to set up according to your organization the default functionality, so that no, you don't do a customization, but you are able to configure according to your need. That is what configuration. And unit testing, we will be doing it mainly because functionality of SAP system and its various component each and every time whether it is working. These are all during the implementation stage. And on the realization, integration test, and when we come to integration test, what are all the things? P2P, procure to pay, this is a cycle. Order to cash is another cycle. Hire to retire is another cycle. Record to report is another cycle, where we finance people come in. So I have only given a 4 examples. There are a lot of cycles. So we will have to find out if the implementation stage we are there, we will have to find out, because after implementation, the blueprint will be the document as an auditor, which I am supposed to go through and then find out. And this is the final preparation, where I have a user acceptance test, cutover activities and training manuals, end user training on all those things. And cutover, please remember, For the first time, if somebody has gone to ERP from the homegrown system or from the brownfield, what I was telling, there will be a data migration. And if we are going to be the auditors, then we should ensure that the trial balance and the balance sheet of the previous legacy system exactly matches the opening trial balance and opening balance sheet on the ERP system. This needs to be audited, including the sub ledgers and all. So I am again repeating, if by chance you are going to be involved in the audit of a company which has just moved from one system to another, because they would have moved all the older data or part of the data in a particular financial year, then you should ensure that you have an audit done maybe by another external agency, so that you are also satisfied that somebody else have done, and then you will have to ensure that the closing balance sheet on the previous system exactly matches with the opening balance on the new system. I'm not telling only the account balances, including all the sub ledgers and like what we prepare those schedules, everything should be totally matched. So we will have to ensure as an auditor whether that is being done. And on the go live and support, we have all these go live preparations and post go live support and all. This is how it has been done. Now these are all the things, okay, what we have been looking at when we go to the system. These are all the 6 phases what we were. Whenever I'm not talking of it can be ERP, it can SAP, it can be anything, but you will definitely have a go live. Then you will definitely have the system as to how does it work. Let's have a look at this in a different perspective. This will be much easier for us to see now. So when you have a startup, as is study, to be definition, realization, final preparation, and training. This is how it moves. And when we get into this, we have all these modules, and as is study, to be definition, realization, and when we come to final preparation and go live and this one. So these are all the major 6 phases on ERP implementation. So what we thought was, this particular series is started mainly because many of the members and my friends were requesting me that, sir, you tell us right from beginning what is initially an ERP, and with some special emphasis with SAP, because we are doing audit on SAP environment in many places, and we are also working in where SAP is implemented, or we are moving into places where SAP is implemented. So I thought I will discuss the ERP in general initially and come to the SAP environment for 2-3 sessions, and then tell them what are all the different kinds of SAP projects are available, and how SAP works, and what are all the integration, and what other modules are connected with finance, because finance is getting connected with all modules whether we like or not, because in the production planning and module your cost is very important, so we get that. And on the consumption, we again come in on the finance aspect on the expenditure side. When it comes to sales, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to materials, everywhere finally it boils down to rupee anna paisa on finance. So we should understand to a large extent what are all the other modules doing. Then only we will be able to appreciate that how to take the data or how to extract data from other modules and then bring it to finance, and then make it a presentable format for us to work either on the financial reports or on the costing reports. So based on that thing, I have started on SAP, so that no, it will be much better for us to understand. And many people were working on SAP environment. I have been talking to people with other ERP products, and they had also inclined to come and then discuss with us about the products, their capability, and how they will be working, and what are all the advantages for small time companies or middle level companies or bigger companies and all. So as we proceed, I should be able to get it done over the period of time. So initially 1 or 2 sessions we will be talking on. In fact, some of the screens are how does in SAP, how does it look like, or what are all the T codes, transaction codes, what we call, So what are all the T codes that we should look into whenever we are going to work on an SAP? Because many people have asked, suppose I'm an auditor and going into the company and they give me the user ID and password and they give access for everything. So what do I do? Now, as an auditor, if you are, suppose you are doing an internal control audit, or part of your audit become you are a risk auditor, or you are an internal control auditor, or you are a financial auditor, or even you are a cost auditor. See, the nobody should change the cost center code when only the person who is drawing the material should be able to change the or able to put the cost center code. Let's assume this is the system. Now, in their system, if anybody else can change the cost center code other than the person who is going to draw the material or going to incur the expenditure, then there is a system lacuna as far as costing system is concerned. So how are we going to check? Then we will have to check the what Mr. Ramji was asking initially. So it is the roles and authorizations we will have to find out. Okay, so we will have to get into, we will talk about this because as an auditor, where you are supposed to focus on when you are going to audit an company on the cost audit or financial audit, or as an internal auditor or as a risk auditor, where are you supposed to look at for inputs for aberrations? This is what I just thought. In the next of the sessions and all, we will cover these things as an auditor or as an accountant or as a consultant, where I am supposed to focus when I go for a particular organization. This is what I thought we will proceed further in, including the transaction codes and how they are, each of them, how they are related. Suppose you want to see the accounts master when you want to see, or you want to see the supplier master, or you want to check up whether the supplier master has got all the details, and if you want to know who is the maker, who is the checker in payment details and all. When you want to do all these things, we'll have to get into the roles and authorizations which has been developed and implemented in the company. So for that, at least we should have some basic information about ERP, and especially on the SAP environment, since people wanted this. So with this, what we will do is I will stop sharing my screen. So in case we have got another 7 minutes to go. So in case if anybody needs any discussion, we can start the discussion, and then we can, so that we can also plan our roadmap for another 2-3 sessions before going into the SME sector or middle sector and other ERP products. And also somebody was talking about MIS and dashboards and all that also we will see in the next of the sessions. Yeah, please go ahead.
This is Selvaraj. Thank you very much. Sir, 2-3 sessions you go ahead with the SAP implementations and its working principles and then auditing procedures, everything. And then after completing of the whole thing, then we will come for the MSME segment, that is a Tally ERP environment, which is suitable for.
Okay.
In between, please don't discuss which is this SAP is not suitable for small, and then we are not in a position to invest so much money, and then it has some of the lacunas. The person is not getting trained properly, then it is a totally waste. Then these are all there in every way. Either it is a government company or it is a public sector or MNC, wherever it may be, if the training is not properly trained, means then the whole cost involved is totally waste, like project funding. Because if you are going to construct a house, if you are not going to place the house in a proper manner, then the total cost invested on the house is totally waste. So similarly, the SAP and ERP is also how you are going to utilize the whole the facilities available in the particular sector. So
yeah, we'll take it.
We will concentrate on 3 or 4 more sessions on the whole episode of the SAP or ERP, and then last one session we will concentrate on MSME.
Yeah, we will do that. I have planned it accordingly only, since there are when opinions are being expressed, I think we should respect and discuss that opinion also. That is what I was doing. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you. Thank you, Salavaja, for joining also. Thank you. Yeah, Vadivel, Malleswar Rao, Kiran Babu, you can please come back with your points.
Yeah. So today's input is very good, very informative. In this particular team members, most of the people are either practicing cost accountants or people are working in the industry. People are working in the industry, they may know very well, but people are in the practicing. If we learn properly, that will be very useful for the practicing cost and management accountant to do the cost audit as well. Okay. CO model, as you likely pointed out, if our people understood properly, what are the options available in the SAP, we can explore with the help of one special user ID password, the like audit password from SAP. With that, we will explore lot of points, a lot of reports from the system, then we can deliver to the costing department heads as well as the board of director as well. So instead of giving one small cost audit report, we have to give like a suggestion from our cost auditor side. Maybe a make or buy decision or one product manufactured from one particular plant can be moved to other plant or cost margin improvement. If we give some value added activities or give some value added services, so our cost accountant should be the knowledgeable person on the CO model. So if we have time, we can dedicate one day, full day for, I mean, one particular training program for only CO model itself, so that we can give proper training to our team members. That will be very useful for them to do the cost audit as well.
Okay.
So that is one
See,
from my side, sir.
yeah, thank you, Vadivel. I have been talking to some of the FICO experts and especially CO experts also. So we will be able to bring them in and then we'll do that. Today I have not brought many of them because then I knew that I'm going to talk the introduction to ERP and SAP. That is why I didn't bring in. So we will bring in people who are much more knowledgeable on the subject and they will be able to do. Sir, Kumar Rajan, sir.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Yes, good morning, sir. Your feedback, sir.
Sir, my feedback is always very much positive.
Okay. So we will bring in this.
You have to continue like these programs and so that our members will get enriched.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Nice of you, sir. Nice of
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Good
you.
day.
And Mr. Vadivel and others, like we have an expert, I was telling, Madam Swati, she is still there on the call. She spoke in the beginning. So I have been requesting others to come into these sessions when we need them, so that they will be able to give input there because they were working or they are working on the system still. Okay. And CO experts, I have found out 2-3 of them. So they will be definitely coming in and then giving us the input. What I thought was initially we will familiarize with SAP environment as well as what as an auditor, apart from looking at the data and all, where all we should look for. That also I will cover in the forthcoming 2-3 sessions, along with the transaction codes and all. And how does an SAP, how do you log in? What all you do when you log in? What is available? All those things we should be able to do. So, sir, Gopalakrishnan, sir, you have any particular point, sir? Sir, Kumarajan, sir, your mic is on. Can you please put it off? Sir, Gopalakrishnan, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, your mic was on. That is what I said. Okay. Gopalakrishnan, sir, you have any point? And Mr. Dominic, who had come from Bangalore, I believe. Mr. Dominic, Ravindran, Rao, Abhishek, Padi, Karthikeyan. Anyone has anything? Sam, sir, you have anything, sir?
I think we had a useful discussion so far.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
And of course, it's as you yourself pointed out, it's a huge ocean. And what we will be able to cover in a session itself will be a very small part. And it's very important that our participants must explore the possibility of getting some hands-on time. Because, if you don't touch the keyboard, Mr. Badiwell was expressing the hope that cost auditors will be able to contribute. I don't know whether they will be able to contribute unless that kind of hands-on time is given. Even our institute's program does not provide a hands-on time. It provides some lab sessions. Lab sessions are way of familiarizing, but the lab sessions are quite useful. Those who have gone through it will find that that is quite useful. Our institute program costs 20,000 rupees. And for those who want to pursue it, I think it is worth the money. I mean, I personally feel I've gone through it. I think it's worth the money, but you will have to take all the initiative because the faculty are not, faculty come from SAP. So they are authentic, but they will not take the interest in you like Mr. Srinivasa Prasad. So they will allow you to learn at your own pace. And if you don't learn, they don't care. So,
right, sir. I see the point, sir. I
but
see the point.
otherwise, we should have this opportunity. And it's a huge learning. And it takes a lot of time. And we should be willing to be patient.
Yes,
and that's all very important. We can't, venture into suggestions and all that until we are sure. And it's good to work closely with the client personnel when you are talking of any improvements which you think is possible.
Yes, sir.
Because a lot of it may be feasible, not feasible, and so on. But it's good to know. It's good to know the functionalities that are available, the T codes that are available. If
Yes,
you
sir.
can talk in T codes, you have broken a barrier to communication because
Yes,
the
sir.
other fellow knows what you are asking for instead of you showing
Correct,
through.
sir. Right, sir.
That is what.
Sir,
Okay.
since you have raised this point, sir, I'll just share my screen. You wanted hands-on experience. I am trying to tie up with a person, sir. And in fact, I don't know whether my screen is visible to everybody.
It's visible.
Yeah. Sir, I have paid money about 10 days back. I had taken a particular SAP system for so that people can look at it. Like this is the starting screen for people who have not seen. I am talking like when it comes to accounting, we have a financial accounting. Sir, the thing will be very small, but that is how the SAP works. Sir, Sam sir, this is a site which we can pay money and have an access to real-time SAP platform, and then we can create let's say master, we can create company, we can transact any imaginary figures and all. What I have told that gentleman is I wanted him to put some data also into it, so that when I am talking about a T code to our people, we will be able to understand. People will be able to know what I am talking. Like when I am now talking of banks, I don't know whether it is visible. This is the place where I am looking at. So the idea is whether we will be able to do this. If you really look at it, this is how the SAP screen looks like. So I was trying to find out whether I will be able to show them the actual working under an SAP environment. I have paid money and then got it, sir. I will be working on it, and once if it becomes, at least I am convinced that this will be an useful platform, and it is not very costly also. So I can request people, whoever is interested, to buy time, 3 months time or 6 months time, to work with their own data and then try to understand SAP. After what we give them, then overview. This is what so this is a new concept which I thought I will try during this workshop, sir. So I just thought I'll submit to you this point, because to get into any SAP environment, nobody gives us access unless you are working there or as an auditor. Whereas on a teaching environment like this, where we are sharing knowledge, whenever I talk about T code, this T code will give this kind of an input. Nobody will be able to understand if I show only a screenshot. So I thought I will get into an actual SAP environment and then show them around. And in case if anybody is interested, maybe 6, 7 or 10 people interested, I can again talk to that gentleman and then try to get this 3 hour, 3 months time slot or 6 months time slot. Sir. This is what I thought hands-on because you know everybody will not be able to pay whatever the SAP wants, but at least if we know how to get into an SAP, how to put a user ID password, what kind of a place where we should go through. Suppose we talk about a particular T code, we want to see the chart of accounts or we want to see the supplier master, how we should see. So I had requested him to give me some dummy data, put that into the database of the SAP and hand over to me. So once I am successful, sir, maybe next session I should be able to show those things also, and people also can be benefited in case they want. Sir. This is what I thought I will keep everyone informed. Sir.
Great, sir.
Let me succeed, sir. I'm trying to get dummy data. So it is not available. He said, you prepare. Preparing all data will be very difficult for me sitting alone. So I had asked that gentleman, you please put some data and give it to me. And hand over me. So now I can go and create my own data. I can create a master. I can create a material master and all. That way it will be difficult. If I start creating and showing you everything, then 1.5 hours will be wasted because we are not into the question of creation of data. No, we are trying to access data and then find the controls and all. That is what I thought I will talk to him. If there is no other point, then I think we can close the session. Anyone else have any point, please? So we thank Expro because that is where we started. If you really look at it, so I just thought it is an endeavor we started for a very long time, and then we are proceeding. A lot of good videos have gone into the system, so it's a wonderful point that somebody is able to accommodate us and then give the platform for us to work on. So I thank the organizers of Expro Innovative Solutions, and we will again meet maybe a week after or next week, depending upon the time. So thank you very much. Thanks a lot for everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy.